All right, welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving straight into what is absolutely the most anticipated sporting event of the decade. We are previewing the historic 2026 FIFA World Cup final between Spain and Argentina, happening on July 19th. We're talking about a true legacy-defining clash of absolute titans. To really grasp the stakes here, let's actually kick things off with a quote from the Sangre Times. They perfectly captured Argentina's magical, kind of chaotic run to this stage, saying, Argentina's story is messier and honestly more dramatic. Because, while Enzo Fernandez and Lautaro Martinez did the finishing, it was Lionel Messi pulling the strings behind it, same as always. It sets the stage beautifully for the drama we're about to unpack.
So, here is our roadmap for today. First, a historic clash. Second, routes to the final. Third, the host venue. And finally, the global spectacle.
Starting right off with Section 1, a historic clash. The Titans meet in New Jersey. Now, what's really fascinating here is how perfectly matched these two are heading into this game. Argentina boasts 3 World Cup titles, while Spain has one from their legendary run back in 2010. Both are the reigning champions of their respective continents, Spain taking Euro 2024 and Argentina winning the Copa America. And their head-to-head record over 14 meetings? Dead even, exactly 6 wins apiece. And that brings us to why the stakes are just phenomenally high. For the very first time in World Cup history, we have a final featuring 2 reigning continental champions. Add to that, they are literally the undisputed top 2 teams in the current FIFA World Rankings. We are for sure watching the objective best 2 teams on the planet face off. Moving on to Section 2, routes to the final. Contrasting paths to glory. So they're evenly matched on paper, right? But the ways they actually got to this final could not be more different. Spain has been this clinical, unstoppable machine, just dominant wins, clean sheets, and they coolly dispatched a really formidable French team 2-0 in the semis. Argentina, on the other hand, it's been all about chaotic survival, clawing through extra-time thrillers and even erasing a huge 2-0 deficit against Egypt. I mean, just look at this timeline for Argentina's knockout stage. If you're a fan, your heart rate must have been through the roof. They repeatedly escaped elimination in the absolute dying moments. A 103rd minute winner against Cape Verde, a 92nd minute stoppage time decider against Egypt, a 120th minute goal against Switzerland, and then in the semis against England, another stoppage time winner from Lautaro Martinez. They haven't held a lead in the 90th minute once, yet here they are. Meanwhile, you have Spain entering the final with this staggering statistic. 37 matches without a single defeat in regulation time. That ties the all-time men's international record. It is literally the immovable object of Spain, crashing into the chaotic willpower of Argentina. Let's transition to Section 3, the host venue, preparing the ultimate stage. A matchup of this magnitude requires an enormous stage, and MetLife Stadium, just outside New York City, definitely delivers. With a massive capacity of 82,500 seats, it's serving as a fittingly immense cauldron for this event. But, transforming an NFL stadium for a World Cup final is highly complex. And we have to report there's been some friction. They actually had to rip out 1,740 corner seats just to widen the field to FIFA dimensions. On top of that, they installed temporary Bermuda grass from North Carolina, which has sparked some pretty intense, objective debate. Players in the media have criticized the pitch for being dry and showing heavily worn patches during the tournament. And that friction actually extended off the pitch into local transit. To offset $48 million in unsubsidized event costs, NJ Transit initially shocked fans by announcing a really steep $150 train ticket just to get from New York to the stadium. However, the sheer commercial power surrounding this game stepped in. Through sponsorships and other raised funds, the transit agency was eventually able to drop that fare down to $98. Actually, scratch that. It's still a huge premium, but definitely a notable reduction from $150. Finally, let's look at Section 4, the global spectacle, an unprecedented entertainment event. So beyond the incredible sports matchup on the pitch, this game has a massive pop culture footprint, which really begs the question, what makes this specific 2026 final fundamentally different from the 22 editions that came before it? Well, the answer is the halftime show. For the first time ever, FIFA is extending the traditional 15-minute break to an expected 18 minutes. Why? To host a massive mid-game musical performance that's heavily inspired by the NFL Super Bowl. And I gotta say, the lineup is an absolute global blockbuster. It's curated by Chris Martin of Coldplay and co-headlined by megastars Madonna, Shakira, BTS, and Justin Bieber. Partnering with Global Citizen, the ambitious aim of this 11-minute sprint is to raise $100 million for charity. That is a massive goal. Now, while those charitable goals are undeniably huge, we have to neutrally note that this move has deeply divided the soccer world. Traditional fans and commentators have sharply criticized the halftime show as an unwanted commercialization. Many are labeling it a blatant Americanization of the sport's most sacred moment. It is a fascinating cultural collision happening right in the middle of the match. But the spectacle doesn't even stop there. Just look at the VIP footprint of this whole shebang. Post Malone is headlining the closing ceremony. U.S. President Donald Trump is presenting the trophy. The winners are even getting 30 North American-style championship rings. Plus, King Felipe VI of Spain will be there in person, while surprisingly, Argentina's president Javier Milei is skipping the match entirely because of his own personal superstitious beliefs. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I leave you to wonder about this. Between the pristine 37-match unbeaten machine of Spain and the chaotic, late-game survival magic of Argentina, who is going to conquer the glamour, the intense pressure, and their opponent to cement their name in World Cup history? Thanks for joining us, and enjoy the game.